Welcome to the Trade, Travel, and Tourism Committee. I'm Chairman, Councilmember Joe Buscaino. Today's Saturday, I hope it's Saturday, September 18th. I wish it was Saturday. Tuesday, September 18th. Thank you for those tuning in on Council Audio. With that, I'm not going to have a quorum today, so all communication will be communication with the chair, Mr. Clerk. And with that, let's take items 3, 4, 5 on consent, send that to council, communication from the chair. And if you can read into the record, item number 1.
Councilmember John White, City Clerk. Items 3 and 4 both have CAO reports that were submitted after the publication of the agenda. Do you wish to approve those with your action on those items?
Yes, we'll still approve those with the CAO reports. Thank you.
And item 1 is a report, verbal report from the CEO, Los Angeles World Airports, relative to the status of department operations, finances, capital improvement projects, public safety and security, planning technology, marketing promotions, and other activities pursuant to motion. Buscaino, Bonner.
Thank you. Here joining us is America's Airport Director. Deborah, thank you so much for joining us here. Our Executive Director. We'd like to do these quarterly updates from the Tourism Department, the Port of Los Angeles, as well as the LA World Airports. There's some chatter in the audience. If we can just hold those conversations outside if you need to, please. And the purpose of this, of course, is to get an update on operations and finances, capital improvement projects, any public safety, security issues, planning, technology, marketing, promotions, all that good stuff. But we do know that the airport is well on its way, especially with the current existing updates that we get on the LAMP projects. And I'll kick it over to you. And I know you have a presentation that will be before this committee.
I do, and we are working through some kind of recent technical difficulties because the slide was up there before. But I will go ahead and begin, Councilman.
Sure.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for all that you do to continue to drive and support the evolution and the transformation of Los Angeles World Airports. Your commitment of time, especially over the summer, in our quest to bring nonstop air service between LAX and Vietnam.
Yes.
We made great headway, and I look forward to in the future coming back to report on hopefully good news there. Today I have an update on many of our development programs, the first being our consolidated rent-a-car facility. The consolidated rent-a-car facility are very important to us. The rent-a-car business is the highest revenue generator outside of aeronautical revenue for the airport, so it has a strong place in supporting our development program. And we know that part of the LAMP program and its solutions to traffic congestion around the neighborhoods and of course throughout the neighborhoods around the airport is to solve congestion related to rental cars. Today there are over 24 different rental car facilities scattered around the airport area, leading to significant congestion and inefficiency in the facilities. The top 13 out of the top 15 airports in the country all have consolidated rent-a-car facilities, are in the process of developing them. It is what's expected of a modern world-class airport. Over the last 2 years, as part of the LAMP program and our innovative approach to developing projects where our developers have skin in the game.
Okay, excuse me, Ms. Flint. Herman just walked into the room causing the disruption. So that's his first and final warning. Ms. Flint?
Thank you.
Continue.
So we have, for the last 2 years, as part of the LAMP program, looked to develop these facilities with developers and the private sector that will bring innovation, bring skin in the game to ensure that the assets that they build also perform as expected over the course of 28 to 30 years. And they also make commitments to our social values as part of the development process. So we're very pleased that we have advised the board, the council as well, that we have selected the LA Gateway Partners to be our recommended developer for our consolidated rent-a-car facility. All of the teams that participated, but in particular this one, brought facilities that were innovative, cost-effective, shrunk the footprint of the facility so that we future-proofed for changing environment. Whether a rental car business contracts somewhat, we have flexibility for alternate uses, or if it grows, we also have land available to continue to expand the facility.
Good planning.
So we have advised all of the developers. The protest period has expired, and we will be coming to the board for our second presentation, and approval will be requested of the Board of Airport Commissioners on October 18th, which is with the full contract for 28 years. That will then be presented to this committee on October 31st, and the full council approval on November 1st. We expect financial close to be in December. Preceding that will be the commercial close in November. Very similar to the APM, time is of the essence. There are milestones that have to be met by the consolidated rent-a-car facility developer to match up to the development of the APM system. So schedule and maintaining that schedule progress is very, very important. We will share it again for the public many times, both on paper, and again, it'll be available through technology and also through the future approvals, who the team are. But some of the key stakeholders include equity members being Fengate, PCL, MVI. The lead contractor is PCL. This is a team that's actually working on our Midfield Satellite Concourse, and lead designer PGAL, and of course local AC Martin. So we're very excited about what that program is going to bring. The LAMP, of course, I view the CONRAC as kind of the anchor to the LAMP program, and of course, as mentioned, it's going to connect to the APM. We continue to make great progress with the APM developer. That contract is now well underway. We have had work begin by the contractor with utilities, enabling potholing work, geotechnical work, as they prime for heavy construction into the next year. Internally within Lava's organization, we are having several efforts through Councilman Bonin's office and as well as through our organization to make sure that we have a very strong and comprehensive communication plan as construction impacts from the LAMP and others start to become very intensive at the airport. I will move on now to...
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Deborah, if you can, on the LAMP projects and the programming, can you just talk about the impacts of construction and how it relates to ingress, egress into the CTA?
So this is something we're working very closely with our contractors on today. They are all submitting to us, whether it's the CORS project, which builds the interfaces, the frontage of the terminal buildings that the APM station connectors will connect to, the terminal projects being done by our airline partners like Delta and Southwest. We're working very intensively with them on those construction schedules because we know it is critically important that we manage construction and construction traffic. Indeed, it's going to be difficult. We are going to have to close lanes in the central terminal area. So we are looking at all different tools, policies, and practices with our partners to find solutions to minimize the construction traffic-related impacts on traffic.
Assuming, because I've heard it, I've seen it in TV and on the radio, partnering with their media outlets as well on the education and the awareness.
Yes, we'll have we do already today. We'll have an even more intense media and communications program, but also including technology. Our partners with Waze and with Google Maps and other app-based connections with the traveling public, so they have real-time, reliable information about how to best to plan their travel to and from the airport.
Got it. All right, we got the presentation up and running. Thank you, Laura Hill, our ITA representative of the day.
Thank you very much. We just passed this, and then now the north side development. Very excited about this. It's very rare for an airport like LAX to have an opportunity to have this much developable space adjacent to it. At a time where this city has so much business that's booming in and around it and that is looking to expand, this is a really important development opportunity. And we're excited about the ability for this land to be converted in symbiosis with the surrounding community to affect a great economic impact for the city of Los Angeles. As seen here, there's about 88 acres. This is on the north side of the airport. You see the north side runways delineated there. Lincoln Parkway is the road that's closest to that pink shaded area. And this is also created in that kind of yellowish area as a landscape plan that creates a buffer for the residential community. We worked very closely with Councilman Bonnet and the Westchester and others in the community to create a plan that would have harmony and, again, take advantage of over 80 acres of space to develop for office, commercial, other campus-type developments. We released just a week or two ago the RFQ. We have advertised that very broadly. This next week, we're going to have a pre-development meeting at the airport in the Board of Airport Commissioners room to answer questions. We're excited about the level of interest that's been expressed. Excited but not necessarily surprised. We'll continue to get the feedback from the developers that are interested, and our plan is to release an RFP in the new year.
Nice.
As mentioned a minute ago when you asked, Councilman, we have several other projects that are underway, and the team at Los Angeles World Airports is moving aggressively and working collaboratively with all of our partner carriers on the development projects that they are completing on the airport's behalf. At the end of the day, the airport always buys back these investments, so we have a vested interest in that success. Terminal 1 is proceeding very nicely. Over the last several weeks, a new food court and food offerings were opened to great success. Everyone's really excited about Casel's and Trejo's Tacos and Earth Cafe, really reflecting the evolution of the airport to continue to provide some of the best food and beverage and retail offerings from the city of Los Angeles. We continue to work with Southwest on the connector between Terminal 1 and Terminal 2. One of our visions, an element of our vision, is to have an airport that one can go through security and fully be able to connect and access every other terminal in the airport. That connectivity is really important for us. So this is another gap that will be fulfilled with this project. Of course, Delta 2 and 3, after last year's greatly successful, largest move ever on record, Delta continues to move forward into the construction phase of their development program. And nicely, Terminal 7 has been mostly opened, again, to great acclaim, so we appreciate our partners at United for that work. The full structure of the Midfield Satellite Concourse is now essentially up. The entire building has almost been enclosed. Councilman, I look forward to you coming out for a tour before it looks like a full concourse, but that's on track to open in early 2020.
Nice.
And we continue to
I'm sorry, Ms. Flint. We still have conversations. Mr. Herman and your colleague here, can you take the conversations outside if you need to? Thank you. Go ahead. Stop disrupting. You're disrupting this meeting. Okay. Sergeant, get Mr. Herman out of here. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, he's disrupted multiple times. I gave him a warning. Thank you very much. There's a door. There's a door. I'm sorry, Ms. Flint.
Thank you.
You can just, for the record, he continues to disrupt this meeting. Thank you very much. There's a door. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilman. The operations continue to grow. Our team does an incredible job with our again vision established by the mayor for us to develop the airport but also improve the passenger experience. We continue to do incredibly well with growth of air travel, both cargo as well as passenger growth. We know both generate a significant amount of jobs for the airport, and we continue to be pleased with the outcomes of, again, all of our efforts. As said, you've been a big part of that with air service development and ensuring that our customer base understands that they are important to us, as they do have a choice, and competition for these carriers is pretty severe, as other airports around the state and the country would like to have the level of service that we
Let me ask you on the issue of traffic, passenger traffic, cargo movement. How has the relinquishment of Ontario Airport helped or hurt the traffic in the region? We talked about regionalization as it relates to air traffic.
Yes. So the industry.
How are they doing over there?
They're growing.
Okay.
The industry is growing today. So we're seeing carriers have growth both at the large hub airports as well as medium hub airports like Ontario is. I saw a recent report. They're up several percent. It may be 4%. They're back at, I don't want to quote a number. They're not at their high point, but they are continuing to grow on a year-over-year basis. And again, this is the regional approach that we have all envisioned, which is, airports in Southern California and certainly in California. When there is a market for them, airlines will put the service, and then that will yield its success.
And international flights out of Ontario. I know you don't
They
run
were
Ontario.
successful in achieving a nonstop to Asia. I believe it's Taiwan.
Okay.
They've had to retool it a bit.
Uh-huh.
I believe it's faced some challenges, but they do have that, and they're retooling the timing.
As far as competition's
that hopefully
concerned,
it'll work. We want to see all the airports in Southern California be successful. Again, we know that because of the connectivity and the population and where that lies, that we have a goal of meeting the demand for the passengers that want to fly into and out of LAX.
Got it.
And so our vision is to continue to do that and ensure that when passengers use LAX, they are not sitting on the tarmac waiting for a gate, or in hold rooms that don't have seats, or in lines that extend outside of the security queuing area. So we continue to be focused on managing and meeting the demand that this region has for service at LAX.
Gates and tails.
Yes.
Got it.
We continue on that, just on that note of investing in guest experience, and we are seeing the results of that. I preface that by saying this is going to be harder and harder to achieve as we get more heavily into construction. But we are putting, again, investment of time and resources. This past year, we extended our guest experience training program to not just the LAX and city employees, but to the employees of our tenants. And over 10,000 people, frontline employees, were trained on our iCare principles and guest experience. So they're seeing that from the city of Los Angeles, treating guests with high expectations is very important to us. And we're starting to see the results, again, through improved scores. This past year, we jumped 25 positions in the J.D. Powers score. We're going to be getting this year's score very soon, so I hope we do even better. And we know that something that's very important to yourself and to the rest of the council and the mayor, and of course our board, is the inclusivity and ensuring that the communities, especially in the city of Los Angeles and those close to LAX, directly see the opportunities created by the growth and the jobs at LAX in their own lives. This is a program that we have invested in for the first time with LA Trade Tech and the community colleges to train workers to have careers in construction. We're very happy with a number of these things. People that would not have had career opportunities have been accepted in this program, and we hear firsthand and see firsthand how it's changing their lives and changing their families. We are very proud of our commitment to gender and having more women see the opportunities and the ease of having a career in the construction industry. And we have an incredible record here. This is a definitely non-traditional industry for women, and we have almost 25% of our attendees and our graduates that are women. And then, again, also many people of many colors also participating in the program. We'll continue to stay invested in that. We know that local workforce, which we have a pledge and our contractors have pledged to achieve, we're going to need more and more workers for the development program that we have planned over at least the next 10 years.
Right.
So these type of programs become very valuable for us. That concludes my report.
Thank you. On your Hire LAX, I think something, we're talking to the trades, I met with the trades yesterday and Ron Miller, and I think we ought to do I'd like to invite you to the full council to celebrate these accomplishments and bring some of these success stories so the full council to hear the Hire LAX program. It was highlighted recently at a National League of Cities Summit here in Los Angeles, and other municipal leaders were just blown away by what we're doing at LAX with the local hire. So
thank you.
Congratulations to you, and maybe we can work with our team and to get you in front of the full body to celebrate this incredible program.
Thank you. I think as a city we should certainly be proud. Thank you.
Thank you. Question about the tech advances at LAX. It relates to security, facial recognition. I remember it was a smaller airport. I want to say Little Rock, where they had like red and green buttons outside of restrooms, and it was like a quick. Were you satisfied with the cleanliness of the bathroom? And it was just one touch button. On the passenger or the experiences from our passengers to facial recognition, where are we at with those advancements?
Making a lot of progress. We looked into that technology that you are referring to, and that's definitely something that is of interest. But we are really investing in what we call smart restrooms. And so we have a couple prototypes in place. One, QR codes that are at the entrances of the bathrooms. So a passenger or employee can also track if there's an issue in a specific restroom. It goes right back immediately to our workforce management system. And so that's getting immediate attention. We're able to track by each restroom what level of cleanliness there is or issues with mechanical or equipment or functionality of that restroom, allowing our team to be more responsive and also more accountable to being responsive. It wasn't long ago that we got a positive shout out on late night television. I believe it was Jimmy Kimmel that talked about our smart restroom program. We are piloting a program called Tush Lights, which essentially tracks the number of people that come in and out of the bathroom. But maybe more importantly for the guests, there's a red or a green indicator above the stall, so it's clear whether it's occupied or not. That could actually be somewhat difficult,
I can see
especially
Jimmy.
in women's.
I can see Jimmy having a fun time with that. Yeah.
He had a good time, but it was a very positive shout out. I think it showed our evolution. The TSA and CBP to continue to use us and come to us as a resource in testing new innovation. We applied for and were awarded designation as a TSA Innovation Airport. So that allows us to, again, use technology in new ways and try things to see if they help improve the guest experience and also improve the level of security.
And average wait on time, average waits in lines.
Are doing really well.
How do we
We are
compare
at
to
the top. We're at the top,
Oh,
and
really?
we actually screen more passengers because we're the largest origin and destination airport in the country. So even though Atlanta, per se, has more passengers than we do, many of them are connecting. So they come into the airport already screened and behind security. Our passengers always come through the front door, for the most part. And so our TSA agents here are screening more than any other country, and we're performing as the highest, at the shortest wait times for passenger screening as well.
Right. Something
That's
working well there.
It wasn't always that way. Our local leadership at TSA has done a very good job of working closely with the airport team as well as with the airlines to do a lot of predictive analytics so that they staff appropriately and deploy their teams appropriately. And that's
But there's always a concern when we're the throughput. We also talk about quantity, but also quantity in the searches. So
Right.
we don't want to make sure that we don't compromise public safety at the same time.
And the TSA, the federal government, has been pretty
Yeah.
public about that, about the checks, the internal quality control audits and screening that they also run to ensure that there is the quality
Right.
of the screening. We
That
support
coupled
them
with
at
the
that
fact
effort.
we have a premier airport law enforcement agency in the country,
That's right.
and with
of
the best and
course.
brightest, so they did great keeping us safe.
Absolutely. And we continue to have the largest, by far, airport law enforcement of any other airports within the country.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate your presentation, and we'll continue this item and look forward to hearing back from you in the next quarter.
Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Really also appreciate you being open, you and your executive team and staff, to my team as well, and with our monthly calls. I really appreciate the ongoing updates. Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, any speaker cards on this item? Oh, that's true too. We don't have a quorum regardless, so. Okay, with that, let's take item number 2.
Item 2, motion Buscaino Martinez instructing the LA DWP to report relative to land swap negotiations with the Port of Los Angeles, the next steps required to execute the land swap agreement, any outstanding roadblocks preventing the execution of the land swap agreement, and any future plans, as well as current capacity and usage of the LA DWP tank farm in Wilmington.
Thank you, Mr. White. So we were here 2 weeks ago. There's some progress that's being made. I do want to thank both the port and the DWP working tirelessly over the last couple of weeks in addressing some of the outstanding items. As a result, the 180-day right of entry has been fully executed. Thank you so much for getting this done. We have a term sheet circulated, and it looks like it was just handed.
Well, that's the fully signed and approved 180-day. So,
Fantastic.
right. Yeah, the term sheet.
The term sheet's being circulated as we speak
Right.
as well.
So, right.
And that's for the long-term 3-year plus one, plus
No, the term sheet is for the project.
For the entire project.
As the total project.
total project.
Please state your name. Your name, please.
Right. This is
Masood.
Masood Saburi. I'm with LADWP CAO's office, real estate director. And I
And joining
have a
him is from the port.
Mike Alvin, Director of Waterfront and Commercial Real Estate.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay. I just have a couple of good news I'd like to.
We love good news in this committee.
Right. This is hot off the press. So last week we had a meeting, a long meeting with the leasee of the tank. And the outcome of the meeting, we just heard between the attorneys and that this morning that they'll be out of the tanks by November 15th instead of end of December. So a month and a half in advance.
Okay, you're disrupting the meeting, ma'am. It'll be communication to the chair. Please take a seat or you'll be asked to leave. Okay, thank you. Show her the door, please. She's disrupting the meeting. She continues, please note, she continues to disrupt the meeting. And for the record, Yvonne Michelle Autry, for the record. Thank you. Have a good rest of the afternoon. You're continuing to disrupt the meeting. Thank you very much. Thank you, sergeants. Okay, sorry for the disruption. So if you can continue.
Sure, and so we'll start the cleaning and that sooner than later. So that was good news.
Is that going out to bid on the cleaning of the tanks?
It's right. It's with the same schedule that I brought in last week, and
Okay.
we are sticking to the schedule. And September 17 is going
Okay.
out to bid, and the bids are due October 17. So we are still on the same schedule I mentioned last time. On the term sheet, I received the comments from the port last night or yesterday afternoon. We are going through it, but in order to expedite that, I was planning to maybe have a meeting with the port next week, early next week, to just finalize it instead of going back and forth on emails and that. So we'll be meeting maybe Monday, Tuesday, whenever fits your schedule.
Wonderful.
Okay, so, and with the 3+1+1 contract, I'll be done with.
That's for the right to entry?
No, this is for the construction, right?
Oh, for the construction, I see.
construction right-of-way entry 3+1+1. I'm reviewing it right now, so we should have it to you early next week, and then, get your comments with that, so.
Mr. Galvin, any concerns you have for those two outstanding items?
No, we've been working closely with LADWP to move
Okay.
those issues forward, and they've been very responsive in that process. So we are hoping that we can especially get that 3+1+1 as soon as possible, because that'll be critical for us to.
But then that has to go to both boards, right?
That one,
And then what would be the timeline for that?
as soon as we reach agreement on that, we would process it. I believe because it's between two agencies, it may not have to go to the board, but I need to check on the
Okay.
actual time frame. So we could report back on that next time too.
I don't think we have to go to the city
No.
council, but we have to go to our board.
I believe.
I understand that, but to go through the two respective boards, that would be, then obviously have to get it on the agenda. I just don't want any further delays. Okay, anything else? So those two outstanding items, looks like you guys are going to meet early next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Right, for the terms,
Right.
and come up with a,
Okay.
finalized version of the terms.
Okay, this is a critical piece, as we know. This is why we're
Sure.
holding these ongoing committee meetings and hearings on these tanks.
And we have accomplished a lot, as you said,
Right.
during last.
Now, we appreciate the ongoing discussions and getting to resolve these issues. Mr. Galvin, perhaps maybe next time I'll continue this item, but next time can you bring back a quick timeline of the Wilmington Waterfront project and how it relates to these tanks?
Sure. So a presentation with that, just a brief presentation
Yeah.
regarding schedule and the scope of the project.
Yep.
Okay.
That'd be really helpful.
Perfect.
Okay, with that, we'll continue on this item, and then we'll see you in 2 weeks. And I'm hoping to bat 1,000 here and go 3 for 3 on all three items. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, that was the last item. So with that, we're now adjourned. Thank you.